Yorkshire, once filled with mines and mills, the engine room of the world's coal and textile industries. But all that changed. The region now has one of the highest unemployment rates in the country.
1 minute you work it, next minute you're not. Next minute picks it up and next minute they shut.
I live my life how I want, not how the government tells me.
From Yorkshire's largest city, Leeds...
Doesn't matter where you look, hospitals, garages, building trade, a lot of the workforces are migrants.
Across the 11 miles to Bradford...
A lot of people are obese because they just go to takeaways and get a burger and chips for £1.
And down the A1 to Doncaster.
I didn't do most stuff that you're supposed to do in school. The most I've done is lock a teacher in a cupboard and left him there.
Welcome to Yorkshire. Welcome to Dole in the Dales. Half a million people live in Bradford in West Yorkshire, and over 54,000 are claiming some type of benefits. One of them is 42-year-old Adele. She's lived in Yorkshire all her life and been on benefits for most of it too. Close to 2/3 of people in Yorkshire are overweight, and Adele's one of them. She's just out of hospital after having NHS weight loss surgery.
The GP said to me, "You're getting very obese." And I said, "That's a bit cheeky." And he said, "The reason why you've got so bad arthritis is because of your weight." And he said, "What about a gastric band?" I had all keyhole surgery, which is there. I've got, like, one scar here. I've got one scar there. And then I've got another 2 scars there. Well, look at me there. I'm 30 stone there now. Look at me now, I'm 23. Look at the face difference.
Adele claims nearly £1,000 a month in benefits. Even though her weight's caused her health issues, she never saw it as a problem. It was only state-funded surgery that persuaded her to take action.
And I didn't lose weight because I was happy with my weight. It didn't bother me. I didn't do it to get a boyfriend or look good. I did it for health reasons because I have severe arthritis in my knees and in my shoulder.
Adele's dropped 10 dress sizes, but says she misses her carefree lifestyle.
I miss going out with my friends. I miss going, like, to Chinese buffets, what are cheap, what you can pay, like, £6 for a sit-down meal. Eat all you can, because people benefit better like that and can afford that when they're on benefit. Right, so now I'm just making my dinner.
Adele's operation was supposed to change her life for the better, but a few months after having it done, she's not happy. She's had to ditch her old eating habits for a strict liquid diet.
You know, it's like now in the freezer, I've got, like, things what I can eat, like soft cauliflower. I've got, like, roast potatoes because I can eat them with my gravy. It's all like sloppy food, you see. But these McCain wedges, what I do with them is I put them in my blender and I blend them all and put gravy with it. I get these eggs, which are dear, when I want to eat, like, scrambled egg. Because I keep trying to eat, even though I can't eat, I try and push myself to eat. But I'm always bloody sick. And that's it. Happy days.
Just a few miles from Bradford is Leeds, where over 250,000 claimants are picking up Dole money, including 59-year-old Steve.
I'm Steve Turton. I've lived here 7 years.
Steve moved to Yorkshire from Newcastle, but he's discovered the grass isn't any greener in God's own county.
This is bed area, cooking area. To your left as you come through the door, shower and toilet through there. This is basically my living area. Some of the places I've had 100 times better than this, even when I was living in a caravan. Long way better than this. Tidier, cleaner. Mind you, it's my fault for letting it get like this.
He spends most of his time in the £110 a week flat paid for by housing benefit.
Get up on the morning, sit and watch Jeremy Kyle, flip it over, watch Bargain Up, whatever's on. Basically, I just most of my time in here. Or taking that mad head out. Sit down. One box. One box. Okay. That's Jake, daft head. If he wasn't here, I'd end up going stir crazy. Because it's true what people say, dogs do become part of your family.
Steve gets £144 in benefits every 2 weeks. Every penny counts.
I spend £20 minimum a fortnight on my electric. roughly £15 a week on food. Costs about £21, £22 for dog food. £23.50-ish on my tobacco. What bit I've got left, I'll have an afternoon out or I'll have a day out down the pub. Well, you can't live on what you get off the benefit. All you can do is survive. Get by day to day.
In Doncaster, a quarter of people claiming benefits are under the age of 24. Claire's a new mum who's recently moved into a two-bedroom house after being homeless since her daughter was born 7 months ago.
We had nowhere to go. They showed me a few houses and I had to view that one, and then I got the keys the same day. I live on my own with my little lady. I won't change it for the world. Her smile's just one to die for in the morning. This is my everyday thing. Washing bottles, sterilising bottles, changing bums.
Claire's never worked and never lived anywhere but Yorkshire.
How come we just swear off and shit?
She receives more than £300 a month in benefits, and her rent's also paid. But she says life on benefits isn't easy for a young mum.
I get like £163 every fortnight. Then I get Kira's money as well. I find it hard because there's always something that she needs. And if she hasn't got it, then, you know, I'm made out to be a bad mum. Ow!
Claire spends most of her time with best mate Danielle.
What are you doing?
Rinsing this out.
You don't rinse the jars out.
Why, I do.
I don't.
You're weird.
I'm not.
Danielle's been sent on work placements, but they haven't led to a job.
I've done placements and work experience and stuff like that, but they've never, like, took me on afterwards, you know.
Claire left school without any qualifications.
I didn't get my GCSEs, so obviously when it comes to a job they ask for what GCSEs you've got, and I you know, there's nothing I can say. All I can say is I ain't got none. They're not going to take somebody on who's not got no GCSEs. They turned around and said to my mum that I was too thick to do it, so I just didn't go back. I just left school and didn't go back. I didn't do my English, I didn't do my maths, I didn't do most stuff that you're supposed to do in school. The most I've done is lock a teacher in a cupboard and left him there. And I got excluded for that. And I just didn't go back after that. Cup of tea, burn me, you've just burnt me. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm sure you did.
22-year-old Danielle gets £230 a month. She lives with her mum rent-free. It means she can afford to spend her benefits on the odd holiday, soaking up the sun.
We've just come back from Spain in August, so... But we're going to
go with
Tenerife.
her, but I can't afford to do it.
I'm going again next year. Mallorca. It was quite nice, actually. I think I had one proper piss-up.
Danielle's already planning her next trip abroad.
I'm going to Tenerife next year, so that'll be coming out my JSA as well. And then it's costing me £604 to do Mallorca for it. Tenerife, so 10 days. All inclusive, though. I pay £50 a fortnight when I get paid. I've worked it all out. I should be paid by May, June, and then start saving up for my spending money when we go in August.
But Claire hasn't left Yorkshire in 13 years.
The last time I went on holiday, I was 10 years old. I've never been on holiday since.
"21 miles from Doncaster, Selby was once known for its shipbuilding and coal mining. As the industries closed down and work dried up, more and more people ended up on benefits, including 54-year-old John.
Life on benefits in Yorkshire is shit. 1 minute you work it, next minute you're not. Next minute pits are open, next minute they're shut. Mining's gone, industries are shutting. A lot of shops are shutting because they can't afford the rent on them. Not like it was years ago, you could walk out of a job and walk into another one straight away.
John's had work on and off, but he says the changing face of Yorkshire hasn't helped him.
I used to work for a sugar place, doing sugar containers and that. That's moved and houses are built on that now. Then I used to work on the boats. That's got houses on it.
He also spent 16 years looking after his mum, claiming carer's allowance.
Just used to go around tidying mum's house up, cut her grass, cook her dinners, go shopping, all that sort of stuff. and then you didn't have to sign on, you see. Saving government loads of money because you didn't have to pay for someone to go in. But you had to do like 30, I think it was 36 hours a week. That was all right, I suppose. It all sort of changed. I had to sign back on.
John's mum died 4 years ago. Right now, he collects £144 in benefits every fortnight and gets his rent paid. He says landing his dream job feels like a million miles away.
For me to go to work, I want a decent wage. People go to work, they want decent money, so why can't I have decent money? Why can't I live like I want to be living?
Coming up, Adele's dreading going back to hospital.
It costs a bomb staying in hospital when you've got to pay for TV cards. I can't afford to put that money in televisions. It should be free.
Claire's sorting out her spending priorities.
Right, so baby milk, gas, electric, some baby food.
Still lose your £55.
Really?
And for John, job hunting feels like a lot of hard work.
It's very easy on benefits. If you want to go look for a job, you look for a job. And I'm looking for a job, but failing at the moment.
Leeds is set below the Dales in Yorkshire, where over 126,000 of those claiming benefits are signed off sick. 59-year-old Steve thinks he should be one of them.
I've got a cyst on the nook of my thumb, what I'm waiting to go and get taken out. I've got nerve damage to me right lower forearm. That's resulting from an old break. I've got a chest complaint, which nobody knows what it is yet, because I haven't gotten me results from the x-rays. I've got 3 cuts on my stomach wall, which I'm going to be on medication for the rest of my life.
On the Dole, Steve has to prove he's looking for work. He insists it's too much of a challenge with all his health problems.
I was on PSA for nearly a year. Went for another medical, deemed me fit for work again. So I've had to go back on to job seekers, and I've been on job seekers now for the last 3-4 weeks. The medical people, so-called medical professionals, think I'm fit for work. And me, myself, I don't think I am.
The first step in proving he's too sick to work is getting a temporary doctor's certificate.
I was supposed to have gone up to the doctor's today to get a sick note to cover me for this fortnight, which I forgot all about. I was sitting in earlier on, I'm thinking, I've got to do something, I've got to go somewhere today. And could I eckers remember what it was?
He manages to get another appointment, but this isn't the first time Steve's benefits have been at risk.
I've had 1 or 2 sanctions before, because I felt that I wasn't getting taught anything. The Dole sanctioned me for swearing at a tutor, so they kicked me off the course and I lost my Dole for a fortnight again.
And this week, he's got a new reason for needing a sick note.
Over the weekend, I took a tumble off a ladder and my hip's aching. Any chance of getting in to see a doctor? Right, thanks a lot.
A few minutes later, he's got it. But it will only sign him off for 2 weeks, not permanently.
Everything went OK. 1 sick note, brilliant result. I'm not like some blokes who try to pull the wool over Dole's eyes. I've always tried to be honest where I can. The only time I've taken any little white lies is when I've been caught. It's easy to get a sick note, but it's hard actually staying on the ESA. Fingers crossed, everything should be OK when I go down the Dole.
John's lived in Selby his whole life. He's one of 16,000 people over the age of 50 signing on in Yorkshire. He says his age makes it even harder to find work.
It's very easy on benefits. If you want to go look for a job, you look for a job. And I'm looking for a job, but failing at the moment. The hardest thing about being on benefits, you can't go socialising as much. You just got to take a back seat and do now, really, while everyone else is going out at the weekend and having a good time.
But John insists he won't just take anything that comes up.
I want to go to work, but I want to work local in Selby, but it's quite hard to find a job in Selby. And if there is, to get there, you have to catch a bus and you've got to start early. So you've got to be quite picky, choosy where you're working. So if you're working in Selby, it's good, but if you're working somewhere else out of the town, you've had it. If you've got your own transport, it's all right. I've only got a push bike, so I can just pedal somewhere, that's it.
And there are more reasons why he says finding a job is hard work.
I can't look for a job because I've got no internet and I've got no laptop. I've applied for loads, a couple of hundred, and I've never had no replies for any of them. I don't even bother ringing you back or sending you a letter, so if your face, I don't know, if it's like the old days, isn't it? If your face fits and you know someone, you'll get a job. If you don't know them, you won't get a job. I could probably find a job, but what's the point of me coming off benefits to earn about £400? I wouldn't want to be working for less money that I'm getting now.
Born and bred in Bradford, Adele says despite surgery and a huge weight loss, her poor health means she still can't work.
I can't work because I've got severe arthritis in both of my knees. I've got it in my left shoulder. I can't walk very far. I get out of breath. My walking is severely impaired and I'm on too much medication as well. And I get out of breath and I can't walk. So what sort of job am I capable of, really? At the moment, to be honest with you, without swearing, I'm F-U-C-K-E-D.
After having weight loss surgery, Adele's lost 6.5 stone. But her new life isn't what she hoped it would be.
I want a big eater. I were more of a binge eater. So say if there was like a sausage roll in the fridge, I'd warm that up and eat that with a bit of ketchup. Or if there were a pork pie, I'd eat a pork pie. Or, you know, just little things like a bit of cheese on toast, you know, stuff like that.
And she reckons living on benefits doesn't help a healthy lifestyle.
Some people think they can just eat salad and lose weight, but it's not always the case because it's not cheap, you know, like if you've got to eat healthy food with a balanced diet, you're talking like proper, like, what do you call them, special K cereals, you're talking about yoghurts that are like Vitality yoghurts or the yoghurt drinks. How can people afford that are just on a minimum amount of money on the benefit? They don't make it easy. So this is why a lot of people in the society and the community are obese, because they just go to takeaways and get a burger and chips for £1.
Adele's been told to quit smoking, but claims she can't.
Smoking for me at the moment's cheaper than actually eating, and I don't eat. My GP tells me all the time, stop smoking, I can get you on the smoking thing. You know, my smoking is my luxury. It's like you can't change someone, can you, who doesn't see the issues with their actions. I'd love to go back to work. I'd go back to work tomorrow if I could, but I can't because I'm too medically unfit. The most I can stand up is around 5 minutes. I couldn't stand up in a factory packing. I'd love to do that, but I just can't.
Back in Selby, John's not happy. He lives alone in a 3-bedroom house. But he's now been asked to pay the new bedroom tax for the extra space. It's £30 a month out of his £288 of monthly benefits. But John doesn't think it's fair.
I've got 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and this is a double bedroom. This is what I pay my bedroom tax for an empty bedroom. I've had a 3-bedroom house for 20 years, so why should they take money out of my benefits to pay for this?
The council have asked him to move, so a family can have the house.
Why should I move? I don't want to move. I ain't going to move. It's just a stupid idea. Someone's been in an office and just said, oh, well, do bedroom tax. That's it. Just made up. Yeah, I've got a lot of clothes on, gear, so I can put it anywhere I want. I can understand families wanting a 3-bedroom house, and I've got a 3-bedroom house. I can understand that. Totally agree. But at the end of the day, build more houses, and then everyone can have an house. It's a simple solution to the problem.
He feels he's being unfairly targeted because he lives on his own and says for families it's easy to play the system.
At the end of the day, if people haven't been on the benefit system, they don't actually understand and know what you can get and what you can't get. If you've got children, you get anything. Then you don't have to go to work. You can sit at home twiddling your thumbs.
It's an important day in Claire's calendar. Her benefits have been paid in.
Well, today is payday, thank God for that. We are going to get Kira's baby milk, her nappy and wipes, and her jars of food. And we're going to get our food shop, well, my food shopping, my gas and electric.
But first things first, it's down to the seller to check the meters.
You've got £5.13 on your electric. Wait, don't start having. Ah! There's a spider above my head. You've got £2.10 on it. Right, go.
I need to check what's on electric.
£5 thingy, it's there, you can see it.
Oh.
£5.13. I've just seen a spider.
Yeah,
I'm going.
spiders.
Gas and electric are among the essentials, along with the food shop.
We'll get a shopping delivered because we can't carry it all.
With no transport of their own, it's a mile-long walk into town.
Come on, give me my money. I don't look.
You've got 183, but your available balance is 166.
Doncaster has a relatively high ratio of women claiming benefits. Claire needs to make her payments last for 2 weeks, so she's looking for a bargain.
Do you like barbecue sauce?
Yeah.
It's only £1. Anything else? What's your nut liquid?
Yeah, I need some more of that. Wipes and wash powder. Right, so that's that one done.
Best mate Danielle's taking charge of the benefits budget.
Right, so baby milk, gas, electric, some baby food.
Gas, electric, baby milk. Still lose your £55.
Really?
We'll have chicken, barbecue, bacon.
Shopping done, the girls decide to spend some of what's left over on a taxi back home.
Hi, when's your next available taxi, please?
Give me a. I'm trying. Oh, God. Women.
Adele is heading back to hospital. A few months after her weight loss surgery, she's now complaining of gallstones. So doctors want to try to find out exactly what's wrong.
I'm packing now again because I've got to go back to hospital to sort these bloody gallstones out through the operation. I've got earphones, listen to radio, because you don't have earphones in hospital. Them tellies, they cost too much bloody money, and I can't afford the bleeding telly.
She gets £980 a month in benefits and disability allowance, but says it's not enough to pay for her trips to hospital.
It's not fair because, like, you're on benefit, you're there all week anyway, it costs a bomb staying in hospital. When you've got to pay for TV cards, it's what, £10 for 5 hours of TV? I can't afford to put that money in televisions, it should be free. If patients are poorly in an hospital and you're just laid on the bed, you know, what you're watching, you're not watching now, are you? You just sat there bored, so I'll just take my earphones and listen on my phone because that's all I can afford to do. Next they'll be charging you at bloody hospital, won't they, for bloody charging your mobile phones next time, won't they?
She's signed off sick. She doesn't have to prove she's looking for work in order to collect her benefits.
I don't sign on, but you have to let them know that if you are going to be in hospital more than a week, you have to let them know, because obviously you're not eligible for work or out like that, but I'm not eligible for work anyway because I'm mainstream sick. I think I should get more money, really, than what I'm on at the moment, because it's not fair. Just sit here. My legs are hurting.
Packed and ready to go, Adele leaves for the hospital, but she is hoping to be home in a couple of days. Coming up, Adele comes up with a money-making plan.
When I go to people's house, I go, give that, give that, give that.
Danielle is fed up playing by the rules.
I live my life how I want, not how the government tells me.
And Steve thinks the odds are stacked against him.
There isn't any jobs out there, and what jobs there are, I'm not qualified to do.
It's estimated 109,000 people in Bradford are overweight. 23-stone Adele's already lost nearly 7 stone by having a gastric sleeve. She's been back in hospital because of gallstones. Now she's back home as she wouldn't let the doctors carry out the procedure.
They put the camera down, I couldn't do it. It were awful, and I had to wait right till 9:30 till the doctor came back and saw me. And they said, don't worry, we'll do another procedure, so then I had to wait again. Then I ended up coming home because I got pissed off.
Adele says her health issues aren't her fault. She's also unhappy with the treatment provided on the NHS.
I might have to go for another operation because the operation that I had first with the gastric sleeve caused me to have gallstones through the operation, and I'm a bit upset about it now, to be fair. They've knackered up my body. Like a cattle market, 1 minute in, 1 minute out.
And she's really not pleased with anyone who'd criticise her having the surgery in the first place.
It's like people had moaned at me because, oh God, she's had a gastric band because she wanted to lose weight. Why couldn't she lose weight naturally? But end of the day, people who work get NHS free, don't they? If they have to go in hospital.
So for now, she's sticking to her liquid diet.
The menu for tonight's dinner, sugar and water. Cup of soup, and I'm going to have a packet of crisps as well, because I can eat ready salt. Sorted, so that's my minestrone. That's my Sunday dinner. You know, like reggae sauce, manny medi, big dinner.
A few miles away in Selby, John's escaped the pressures of money, a lack of work and potentially having to move house to spend time on his allotment. It's his own little piece of Yorkshire.
This is my garden at Pimble, Selby. I've been here 30 years or more. It's better than paradise. It's lovely. Rosemary. The toilet seat. Strawberry plants in there, bucket. Lovely. Beautiful. Cheap. Free.
The cost of the allotment comes out of John's benefits, and keeping it up to scratch is taking a lot out of his resources.
It costs you about £200 to have a garden this size. By the time you've got your plants, your seeds, manure, rotivated it, dug it, costs a lot of money. It does take a lot of work. You've got to be here all the time to keep on top of it. If it's raining and that, you get more weeds growing, and the sun comes, the weeds grow up, so, you know, it's hard to keep on top.
But he thinks putting his green fingers to work in a job isn't an option.
I wouldn't be happy with a garden centre, because you'd have to work. No, I don't think it wouldn't be... It's not mine, is it?
He says he would work on a building site, if only he had the right paperwork.
CIB ticket, it's to get on building sites and that, to say that you're capable of working on the site with other people. And you've got to have your health and safety as well. You've got to have that all in one. And that's about £200, I think, roughly.
But he thinks the state should foot that bill.
The government should give you it. It should be there for you, to help you. If they help me get the tickets, well, I have to help myself to get them because I've got to study the farm and I've got to do all the filling in and everything like that. But if I got them, I could go on building sites. It's a door to an opening, you can get more out of it. I could drive shovels, I could drive diggers, I could drive anything if I got, you know, got help. If I get off the unemployment, it's another one off unemployment, and I'm not signing on. I won't be claiming anything, so it'll be beneficial for everybody.
While John is trying to get the job centre to cough up, in Doncaster, Claire's on income support. But best mate Danielle has to check in with the job centre to get job seekers allowance.
They're making everyone sign on weekly now. I think it's just a thing that they're doing. Do you know, for younger one, I've got to sign on every week. I don't like it, I hate it.
After a quick appointment, Danielle struggles to see the point of signing on or of the job centre.
I filled my booking for nothing. She didn't even look in it. It was quite embarrassing. So I filled it out for nothing. They tell you to apply for so many jobs, and then when you do, they don't even look in your book to see if you've done it or not. They just sign you. Yeah, go on, go, done. So how's that helping you get a job if they're not looking and trying to persuade you to do more and helping you by saying, oh, well, do this and do that and do that, but they didn't even do anything. I think it was a waste of my time, to be honest.
Danielle has never had a full-time job, but she has been on courses and work placements through the job centre.
I did 2 weeks at B&M, didn't take me on. Did 2 weeks at Savers, didn't take me on. I did 2 weeks at the Hesley course, didn't get that job. So I just give up trying now. Do you know, why should you go, like, work your arse off to try and do it and go to these and just to get your money every fortnight? I wish it were easy to get a job. I'd love to work and have money coming in and get everything sorted, but life ain't that easy, is it? If you don't look for so many jobs, you get sanctioned.
Yeah, which I think is wrong.
Like now, if a coloured person went in and said, oh, I don't understand this and I don't understand that, but I've done this, that and that, they'd get paid straight away.
Her friend, new mum Claire, is also on benefits, but doesn't want her daughter to follow in those footsteps.
I'd like to think in the future, like for Kira, there's going to be plenty of job opportunities out there. So when she's old enough and she's got kids, and you know, she's not going to be like me, who's on benefits.
No, I don't think too far forward.
No, but it's nice to think like that, though, isn't it? To say that there's nothing at the minute for us. Now I've got a child, I'd like to think that there's going to be something for her.
They've both lived in Yorkshire all their lives, but say the problems aren't confined to their hometowns.
To make this a better country, would you back?
I don't vote.
I don't vote either, but obviously, if
None
someone
of it
had
interests me.
no, but if someone had a chance to make this place like Doncaster and obviously the whole United Kingdom a better place, who would you back?
Don't bother me. I live my life how I want, not how the government tells me. It's my life, I'll do it how I want. Obviously, you've got to obey some rules, but other than that.
And Claire believes there may be another reason why she wouldn't get a job, even if she wasn't on income support.
Did you know they're letting like 3,000 immigrants in a day? Why aren't they sending like 3,000 people of us over to their country, do you know what I mean? If they're letting people in, why aren't they sending people back? They should only come for vacation, they shouldn't move in. I reckon that's what they do, you know, they decide whether to come to England or not, pack a bag and then get an house stamp and say, yeah, I'm living here, I'm not going back.
Over in Bradford, Adele's found a way of making money in spite of her ill health.
When I go to people's house, I go, gives that, gives that, gives that. And that's how I make money and stuff. Free items in Bradford, free to Good Home. So if you click on that, and then it'll just bring stuff up. Like every day I look on this sort of stuff. Like, look at that mirror there, freestanding pine mirror, but it's sold, but it would have £5. Now I could have sold that for 15 quid on boot sale. Like, look at this, look, free. What's that? Collection from Toy Cooker, that's Manchester's, too far. Free electric cooker, need a clean, that's a free cooker. And it's not often you see people who wants to give a free cooker away. I can't put here, free.
With so much free stuff available, she's hatched a plan to top up her benefits.
I do car boots, and what I do is I go onto this site here. I just look for like bric-a-brac, you know, like toys, baby things, you know, that sort of stuff. Because believe it or not, toys and stuff like that don't half sell. And how many kids are at car boots in the morning, you know, and it just gets the apple of attention, doesn't it, for a kid to look, oh, look at that teddy. Every penny does count that you can make. I mean, you can go to Morrison's at the end of the day and get like 4 pies and stuff like that for blooming £1. You can get bread. It does help me put a bit of food on the table. It helps me pay my gas and electric. And then obviously then I've got £10 to play with whatever I want to do. So it'll save that tenner for a taxi if I need to go anywhere important.
She's discovered her inner entrepreneur.
There's a way to make money, but it's a shame that you have to go to all this length to do it. But I suppose if you want something, you'll do it, won't you? You know me? I could fall in a pile of shit and come out smelling of roses, me. I find all sorts, me.
11 miles away, over in Leeds, Steve says the odds of finding work are stacked against him.
I'm nearly 60 now, but how do they expect me to find a job when they laying skilled people off? It's the government at fault. The coalfields in England and Scotland and Wales, the government didn't do enough to help them. The trouble with the job market in this country is a lot of employers will only employ a foreign workforce because they'll work for a cheaper rate than what we would. Doesn't matter where you look, hospitals, garages, building trade, a lot of the workforces are migrants.
Steve reckons being in and out of prison for years lengthens those odds even further.
First time I got into trouble with the police, I was about 9. It's too young for anybody to start getting into trouble. Store breaking, arson, firearms offences, there's all sorts on my record. I'm getting too old to be going into prison. There's no clever lads in Nick. All the clever ones are out here because they haven't been caught. A lot of people say, oh, it's the parents' fault, that the kids are running wild. Nah, it wasn't my parents' fault. If I did anything wrong, I used to get a good belt. That's the trouble with the world today. You're not allowed to slap your kids anymore.
But despite believing he's a victim of circumstances, he knows some of them are of his own making.
Used to run with a few lads up in Durham. We all decided to put stupid tats on. I think I was about 15 when I got the first one done. You can get suited and booted, go for an interview. People see their own made tats on your hands, or any tats on your hands, and you just say, right, not bothered, not interested, because they give the wrong impression.
Despite feeling unemployable, Steve still has to keep up with the job centre's rules in order to keep his 72 quid a week benefits.
Come on. Come on. The job seekers, at the moment, they've got me going in every week, which I find a bit tedious. But the ESA send your sick note in, and that's it. They don't bother you. I'd rather do without the job centre if I could help it, but it's just one of them things. I've got to fill that in every week before I go down. What I'll do, what I did, and any replies I get, I think that myself's a waste of time. There isn't any jobs out there, and what jobs there are, I'm not qualified to do.
Coming up, a disastrous job interview for John.
I went in shorts and a T-shirt, so I don't know whether that made any difference or what.
Steve says he's falling apart.
Me hand, me arm, me chest, me hip. If I was a horse, they'd have to shoot me.
Adele makes some cash.
That dog poos here, I'll sell him that dog pooper. Go ahead.
And Claire decides to make some changes.
I want to go back to college and I want to do like hair and beauty and see where I get with that, and hopefully if I like it and stick with it, then I should get a job out of it.
It's early morning in Bradford and an early start for Adele.
Knackered like, but there you go, 7:30 in the morning. Not used to early mornings, but there you go.
Adele says she struggles to make ends meet on her £980 a month benefits, so she's putting her latest money-making scheme into action.
It's not something I do every week, but when you just collect a few items, it's good to get rid of some car boot stuff.
Loaded with free stuff she's found on the internet, she's off to a car boot sale.
I'm hoping even if I do 20 quid, better than a kick in teeth, isn't it, really?
Everything ready, she takes a break.
Even though I'm poorly myself and I've got arthritis, I'm doing car boot, but I'll have to take a shower with me so I can sit down a day.
Adele's on the lookout for any potential customer.
If that dog poos here, I'll sell him that dog pooper. Go ahead.
And the cash soon starts to trickle in.
How much is it? I'll take £2 for it. Get you some chairs, love.
With sale,
Thank you very much, love. Cheers, love.
after sale,
Thanks very much, love. Cheers, darling. Thank you. Oh, I'll just give you £1 back, yeah. Sorry. If you're changing it. Sorry, love. Thank you. I've made 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, about 25 quid. Call it 30 because I had to pay £5 for my stall. So it's not been bad, it's been quiet, but I think next week I'm going to go to a bigger one.
While Adele's quids in, there's some potentially good news for John in Selby too. He's been asked to go to the job centre as soon as possible about a vacancy.
I'm going to the Dole office to get an application form for a job. So that's where I've got to go now.
The job was right up his street.
I was interviewing for different jobs. It was a driver's mate, which I've done sort of things before like that. And it was heavy, you know, moving boxes, heavy lifting, so I've done all that sort of stuff.
But there's a problem. John thought he was simply going for a chat at the job centre. Instead, it was a full-on interview with his potential employers.
The thing is, I went in shorts and a T-shirt, so I don't know whether that made any difference. But what can you say? They never said out, so I didn't know what to say to them, really. Covered in paint, yeah, I'd been painting on her, so it was a bit embarrassing, really. But I didn't know I was getting interviewed, so they said, "Oh, yeah, it was an interview." I said, "Well, I didn't. When you phoned me up, you didn't actually explain that to me, so I just thought it was just going to fill some forms in for jobs. So I didn't know. But it's a learning curve, isn't it?"
While John still claims to be learning, in Leeds, Steve's been trying to get off job seekers and permanently signed on the sick. Finally, his luck might be changing.
It's not good news, brilliant news. They closed me job seekers down yesterday.
It's been a long battle for Steve to prove he's medically unfit to work.
To me, this is a victory. For people to start actually coming to the stage where they actually realising there is something genuinely wrong with me. Instead of saying, "Oh, he's another blagger, he's just trying to pull the wool over our eyes." There's nothing worse than getting battered from pillar to post in this system.
He says it'll also help to take the pressure off him having to look for work in order to get his benefit payouts.
The way my health is, I cannot actually look for work. Me hand, me arm, me chest, me hip. But if I was a horse, they'd have to shoot me.
He now doesn't have to look for work, and there is no threat of his benefits being pulled.
The only part I found stressful was having to trail down here every fortnight and produce evidence of what work you were looking for. They kept putting pressure onto me, saying, "Oh, well, if you're not looking for work, we can sanction you." But that's not the stressful side of it. The stressful side is when you lose your benefit, you also lose your council tax allowance, your housing benefit. You've got nothing to live on unless you've got that. You're going for handouts. Things are starting to go my way for a change. Instead of it going for the system, it's actually starting to pay out for me.
In Doncaster, Claire and Danielle are off out.
Have you made a friend to work with?
No. It's your turn. So don't even start that.
They're off to the park with Claire's 7-month-old daughter.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's Park.
Claire's sick of struggling.
It is hard living on benefits and looking after a child at the same time.
To be honest, it's hard living on benefits and not having a kid, though, at the same time.
And tired of making ends meet as a young mum.
Yeah, but if you think about it, you've got your money to yourself, whereas I have to put my money towards what she needs.
Yeah, but it's still buying myself stuff, like if I need shoes, coats, obviously my fags.
But she's determined to make some changes.
That child has changed my life entirely. I didn't realise that a child could change your life, but she has. I want to go back to college, and I want to do like hair and beauty and see where I get with that, and hopefully if I like it and stick with it, then I should get a job out of it. And that's what I want to do. I do want to work, I really do. Instead of being sat at home doing nothing all day.
No, I'm sweating. She's tired me out.
That's what babies do. They tire you out, chicken.
John's still looking for work when he's not at the allotment.
Can't get no better than this. Don't need money to be happy, do you?
Adele is still trying to keep the weight off.
I'm going to look like that vase, me. 10 years' time, slim and slick.
After struggling to get signed off, Steve has some words of wisdom for the younger generation.
If I had to go sit somebody down now who's getting a little bit out of hand, I'd turn around and say, "Look, join the Army, join the Navy, join the Air Force, whichever. Learn a trade, do something with your life. Don't end up like me."
And Claire is still determined to change her life round and make Yorkshire a happy home for her daughter.
I want to be different. I want to be not like everybody else, but stand out for me and my daughter and make sure she knows that having a job is the only way to get your money instead of sat on your ass doing nothing. I want her to learn and see that.
The next next, five-star is hanging out with some rather large families whose only source of income is state handouts. Benefits 26 kids and claiming in a couple of minutes over there. Whilst here on Channel 5, we step inside Holloway, the sometimes brutal prison that changed lives far beyond its walls. Stay with us.